Many Game of Thrones fans are eagerly anticipating the continuation of the main series, which concluded in 2019. Previous speculations claimed that a TV series focusing on Kit Harington's character, Jon Snow, may serve as the basis for a potential sequel. The Snow series is apparently in its early phases of creation, despite the fact that HBO has not yet given it the go-ahead. Game of Thrones actor Kit Harington has declared that he will play Jon Snow again if it airs. Thrones author George R.R. Martin, who wrote the Song of Ice and Fire book series, was also consulted on the concept. Regarding the show as a whole, there are still a lot of unanswered questions, but there is a lot of information that has already been made public. This is all the information you require regarding Snow, including information about its possible plot and characters. Will there be a spin-off for Jon Snow? On June 16, 2022, the Hollywood Reporter broke the first word about a spin-off series starring Jon Snow. Other than the fact that Harington would be played by Jon Snow again, and that the series was still in its early stages of development at HBO, much was known about the project at the time. The creator of both the Jon Snow character and the entire Westeros universe, George R.R. Martin, verified the story on his Not a site after it was reported. Snow is the working title for the show, Martin disclosed, adding that Kit Harington was the one who brought the idea to him. Additionally, the author informed readers that Harington personally selected the showrunners and that they are terrific. It seems as though Emilia Clarke has already mentioned in a recent interview that Snow was Kit's idea, so that part is out. Yes, it was Kit Harington who brought the idea to us. I cannot tell you the names of the writers/showrunners since that has not been cleared for release yet, but Kit brought them in too, his team, and they are terrific. The well-known author also said that Snow's development has lasted the same amount of time as the other 3 live-action A Song of Ice and Fire projects that HBO is developing, including 10,000 Ships, Sea Snake, and The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Snow has been in development almost as long as the other 3, but for whatever reason, it was never announced and never leaked until now. Martin did, however, make sure that viewers were aware that HBO hasn't yet formally approved the project and that it might never be produced. Please note, nothing has been greenlit yet, and there is no guarantee when or if it will be on any of these shows. The likelihood of all 4 series getting on the air, well, I'd love it, but that's not the way it works usually. In short, a number of sources have stated that HBO is developing a spin-off series on Snow. Nevertheless, until an official green light is received, viewers should proceed with caution. It would be reasonable for HBO to put a lot of faith in a sequel program like this, given the passion from fans and how well liked Jon Snow was in Game of Thrones. It wouldn't be a surprise if Snow were officially announced shortly if the script is delivered and everyone is happy with it. When is the sequel to Jon Snow coming out? Even if HBO decides to go ahead with Snow, it will likely take some time before the first episode premieres. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, is the other spin-off that HBO has already revealed that is being developed in addition to House of the Dragon. On April 14th, it was officially announced that A Night of the Seven Kingdoms was under development and would be released at a later date. It will debut on television screens approximately 3 to 4 years after its official announcement, if it follows the other 2 Westeros set shows, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, which were both announced in 2007 and debuted in 2011. House of the Dragon was greenlit in 2019 and released in 2022. Accordingly, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms may be released as late as mid-2027 or as early as mid-2026. The Hedge Knight looks to be set to premiere as soon as House of the Dragon concludes, given that the show is scheduled to run for 3 to 4 seasons. In the event that HBO confirms and approves Snow in 2024, the film will premiere in 2027 or 2028. It might even be longer if HBO doesn't want 2 Westeros shows to air simultaneously. However, if it's not a huge deal for the shows to air simultaneously, Snow's 2028 release date appears most feasible. Each show might release a new season every 2 years if that's the case. For example, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms might launch in 2027 and then release new seasons every 2 years. Snow might make its premiere in 2028 and employ the same release schedule. The cast of Jon Snow's sequel, who might make a comeback. Given that Snow is a direct prequel to Game of Thrones, there is a good chance that any remaining characters from that series will make an appearance. But as of right now, there are only a few characters that are probably going to show up. It goes without saying that the title character will be heavily featured in the next series, and Kit Harington will undoubtedly be returning to his role as the real king beyond the wall. Harington came up with the show's whole concept so that he would have a significant influence on both the finished products on screen and behind the scenes elements. Tormund Giantsbane was one of the most well-known and prominent characters in the second part of the Game of Thrones, and given that he rode over the wall alongside Jon in the show's concluding scenes, his appearance would not be shocking. Brienne of Tarth received the title of official Lord Commander of the King's Guard at the conclusion of Game of Thrones. Brienne would be at King Bran's side in the Snow trilogy if something were to happen that required him to go across the wall. When asked about the hypothetical return to the Westeros universe in June 2022, an interview with Newsweek, Christie was enthusiastic about the idea. Brienne of Tarth is incredibly close to my heart, and I would relish any opportunity to revisit her. I believe she is endearing. Christie did not expressly say that she couldn't appear in Snow, but rather remarked, I mean, maybe, perhaps. While many viewers were taken aback by Samwell Tarly's decision to survive the last episodes of Game of Thrones, they would gladly welcome him back if he ever made another appearance. Throughout the 8 seasons of the Game of Thrones, Sam emerged as Jon's clear favorite buddy, so if there was any possibility that the two characters would get back together, it would make sense. But who knows what the future holds? Regarding the possible Jon Snow prequel, Sophie Turner has not made any comments on a future return to the Game of Thrones franchise, in contrast to other Game of Thrones actors who have. But it would only make sense that she would make an appearance, given that she is now the Queen of the North in an autonomous Winterfell. Throughout the main series, Sansa and Jon became closer, and since Winterfell is so close to the Wall, visiting Jon shouldn't be too difficult. It's also likely that Jon will require assistance when the show's conflicts begin. Sansa and the Winterfell warriors would undoubtedly be the best people to help Jon. Following her death in Jon's arms in the penultimate episode of Season 4, Rose Leslie's character Ygritte was absent from Game of Thrones. Leslie might, however, realistically appear in flashbacks as she is married to Harington in real life. And that's all for now. For more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.